All right, so get ready, because today we are diving deep into George Orwell's 1984.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
the one with Big Brother
Oh,
and the
yeah.
thought police and all that.
Yeah.
And we've got the whole book laid out in front of us here,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going to be taking you through it chapter by chapter.
Cool.
So hold on tight, because this world is a total mind trip.
It really is.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah. So Orwell just drops us right into this, super controlled society called Oceania.
Oceania?
Yeah, and it's 1984, and everything is under the thumb of the party.
Okay.
There's no freedom, constant surveillance, and a whole lot of fear.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
So we start off in chapter 1, part 1.
Yeah.
And we meet our main guy, Winston Smith.
Exactly. He's just this regular guy working for the Ministry of Truth, but he's got this rebellious streak.
Okay.
He secretly hates the party
Interesting.
and starts writing in a diary, which is a huge no-no.
Yeah, that's a big risk.
Big time.
He's really risking his neck just to put pen to paper.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then we meet the kids literally in chapter 2. Winston encounters these creepy party-obsessed children who report their own parents to the thought police.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So even family isn't sacred in this place.
Nope.
It's like messed up.
Totally. It shows how deep the party's control goes.
Wow.
And speaking of control, part 2 kicks off
Okay.
with Winston really struggling with his rebellious thoughts.
Right, and it's not just thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It's his actions too.
Yeah.
He starts this forbidden love affair with this woman named Julia.
Yes. This relationship is so key because
Definitely.
it represents a direct challenge to the party's control over everything, even personal feelings.
Wow.
It's just this desperate grasp at freedom.
Okay, so they're risking everything for this
Mhm.
love,
Or-
sneaking around,
Yes.
hiding in a rented room above a shop.
Uh-huh. And this is where things get even more complicated.
Oh.
So in part 2, chapter 6,
Right.
Winston has this intense encounter with O'Brien.
O'Brien.
Yeah, a high-ranking party member
Okay.
who Winston thinks might be part of a secret resistance.
Oh, so there's like whispers and secret meetings and all that.
Exactly. Winston pours his heart out to O'Brien,
Wow.
thinking he's found a kindred spirit.
Okay.
They talk about Emmanuel Goldstein, who's
Mhm.
the supposed leader of the resistance,
I'm not gonna-
Brotherhood.
So there's like a whole underground movement trying to take down the party.
Supposedly.
Okay.
But as Winston digs deeper,
Yeah.
he becomes more and more entangled in this web of rebellion.
This is getting good.
Yeah.
So this brings us to the end of part 2, chapter 10.
Mm-hmm.
Winston reads a chunk of Goldstein's book,
Right.
which lays out all the party's twisted philosophy.
It's like the anti-party manifesto.
Okay.
It exposes how they manipulate history language
Wow.
and even thought itself to maintain power.
That's intense.
So-
So we've got Winston fully engrossed in this rebellion now.
He's all in.
He's risking everything, but something tells me things are about to get even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Buckle up, everybody.
Definitely.
Okay, so we left off with Winston, like, deep in the weeds of Goldstein's book, right?
Yeah.
Learning all about the party's crazy, messed up ideology.
Right.
So where do we go from here?
Well, part 3, chapter 1, starts with a huge shift.
Okay.
Winston and Julia, they're arrested
Oh, no.
in their secret room.
They were supposed to be safe there.
Yeah. Turns out Mr. Charrington,
Mr. Charrington, the old man.
the kindly old shopkeeper, he's a member of the thought police.
Oh, my gosh.
Total betrayal.
Talk about a rug pull.
I know.
They thought they were safe, and bam, the whole world comes crashing down.
Exactly. And from there, it's straight to the Ministry of Love for Winston.
Ministry of Love doesn't sound very loving.
Not at all. This is where the real psychological torture begins.
Uh-oh, so we're not just talking about physical pain here.
Nope. It's about breaking Winston's mind.
Wow. So chapters 2 and 3
Yeah, they detail Winston's brutal interrogation and torture.
at the hands of O'Brien.
O'Brien, the guy Winston thought was an ally.
Yep, he's a party loyalist all along.
So he was playing Winston this whole time,
Yeah,
drawing him deeper into rebellion just to break him even more completely.
that's exactly right.
That's messed up.
It's cold.
So what's O'Brien's plan here?
Well, it's all about power and control.
Power and control.
Yeah. In chapter 4, O'Brien explains the party's whole philosophy to Winston.
Okay.
Power control for the sake of control.
It's like they don't even care about good or evil.
That's right. Only about maintaining their dominance.
It's like a totally twisted version of reality.
Yeah, and O'Brien forces Winston to confront this twisted reality.
How does he do that?
He uses like torture and manipulation, even drugs, to break down Winston's resistance and force him to accept the party's version of the truth.
So it's not just about making Winston obey.
Right.
It's about making him believe. Exactly, and that's where Room 101 comes in.
Room 101. I remember reading this and just feeling sick.
Yeah. Chapter 5, Part 3.
Okay.
This is where Winston faces his deepest fear, rats.
Oh, yeah.
O'Brien uses Winston's terror of rats to force him to betray Julia.
Julia.
The one thing he held on to this whole time.
That's awful.
It's brutal.
So Winston completely breaks.
He does.
He betrays everything he believed in, everything he loved.
Yeah.
And he's released back into society.
Yeah, at the end of Part 3, a shell of his former self.
Oh, man.
Completely brainwashed, accepting the party's lies.
That's heavy.
And even professing his love for Big Brother.
That's a devastating ending.
It is to a very disturbing journey.
So what happens after Winston is released?
Well, Part 4 of the book picks up with Winston back in his normal routine.
Okay.
He has a new job. Spends his time in the Chestnut Tree Cafe.
Oh,
he even runs into Julia again.
I bet things aren't exactly great between them.
You're right, their encounter is cold. Emotionless.
Really?
They both admit to betraying each other. There's no love left, just indifference.
The party really just destroyed their connection.
They did.
Man, that's harsh.
It is.
So what's the final takeaway here?
Well, the final chapter 6, gives us a pretty chilling answer.
Okay.
We see Winston fully embracing all of the party's propaganda.
Really?
Even feeling a surge of love for Big Brother as he watches this news report about Oceania's victory.
So he's totally lost everything.
He's lost his individuality, his capacity for critical thought.
He's just another cog in the machine.
Exactly.
That is a bleak ending. It's like Orwell is saying, there's just no hope.
Right.
In the face of this power, there's no resistance, no chance for individual freedom.
And that's what makes 1984 such a powerful and disturbing novel. It's a warning about the dangers of totalitarianism, the fragility of the truth, and just how important it is to fight for our right to think for ourselves.
So Winston's journey takes him from this, like, spark of rebellion to complete submission.
Yeah.
It's like the party just steamrolled his entire identity.
Exactly, and that's what makes 1984 so, like, chillingly relevant. You know, it makes you question how much of our own thoughts and perceptions are shaped by, like, external forces.
It really makes you think about the information we consume. The narratives we're told. Could we be unknowingly influenced in ways that we don't even realize?
That's the, like, insidious nature of the kind of control Orwell depicts.
Yeah.
It's not always about brute force. It's about subtly shaping the way people think and perceive the world.
And Winston's final state?
Yeah.
That blind acceptance of Big Brother, it's almost like a cautionary tale.
It is.
You know, a reminder to stay vigilant and question everything.
Precisely. 1984 reminds us that freedom of thought, critical thinking, independent judgment, these are things we can never take for granted.
This has been a really thought-provoking deep dive.
It has.
Orwell's 1984.
Yeah.
It's not just a dystopian novel, it's a mirror. Reflecting the potential dangers of unchecked power and the importance of safeguarding our own minds.
Absolutely. It's a book that stays with you.
Yeah.
Long after you finish reading it.
Definitely.
It prompts us to examine our own world.
Right.
And the forces that shape our thoughts and beliefs.
Well, thanks for joining us on this journey through Oceania.
Of course.
Remember, Big Brother might be watching.
Uh-oh.
But so are we.
Okay.
Stay informed, stay critical, and stay free.